What's up guys, welcome back to McLaren Media, your home for everything car, photography and video related. In today's episode, I'm going to be showing you how I removed the air conditioning from my 1.6 Tdci Fiesta. So guys, removing the AC condenser from the and the AC system from a Ford Fiesta. The reason I'm doing this is one, because my air conditioning has never worked in the almost 5 years I've owned that car, and two, it's unnecessary, it's heavy, it's broken anyway. Like, I know a lot of people say, "Look, just go and get it recharged." We tried that once. It's got a hole in it somewhere. I have found the hole now. I've removed the air conditioning. The entire condenser is just destroyed at the bottom right hand corner, so it's coming out, and I might as well be doing it while the front of the car's off anyway, while I'm doing the other repairs, you know, the starter motor and the power steering lines. So what other reason there is for it? A lot of people say that's not worth it on a road car, that, you know, like, you need the air conditioning, like what's the point in going to all this trouble? But I thought to myself, if the car front is off anyway, we might as well just do it. And it provides great content for you guys, because I can't find a single guide anywhere on the internet that shows you how to do this on that particular engine of this Fiesta. So why not? So basically this video is going to show you how I did it the best way. It's semi-difficult, you need a couple of specialist tools to do it, but apart from that, it's not that difficult. So guys, what you actually need to do this install? Well, I said some specialist tools, but really it's just one specialist tool, but I always have my trusty impact because it just speeds everything up. You'll need a decent sized toolkit, because there's a lot of different size nuts and bolts under there and connectors and stuff, and if you are going to the trouble of removing the front bumper and inner shroud anyway, you're going to need a lot of different size tools, because there's a hell of a range of different nuts and bolts on that car. But as it comes to the specialist tools, what you will need, and I say specialist, it's not that much, this was like £7 I think off eBay. It's a AC fuel line disconnector tools, and they're basically these little weird strap things, and effectively how they work, they're almost like a key for the way they lock the AC lines together, because they're high pressure. They've got quite a heavy duty fitting on them. They're quite simple in their design. They simply just wrap around the pipe and pull into the fitting, and they disconnect they disengage a spring, and it allows you to pull the pipes apart. But basically, one quick note before you do any of this, guys, is you will need the AC refrigerant gas discharged from the system. Now, in the UK, you can't just vent it to atmosphere. I mean, you could. I mean, who's going to tell you off? I mean, luckily for me, mine was leaking anyway, so I don't see the point in that rule. But basically, yeah, so if you want to be on the law side, take it to a garage, have them discharge it for you. You know, if they ask you why, just say you're race car building, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, it's dangerous stuff apparently, like everything seems to be these days. But mine was leaking anyway, so what's the point? It made a small noise when I released one of the nuts and bolts, and that was about it. But apart from that, you're just going to need it discharged. If, like me, it was leaking anyway, then don't worry about it. But yeah, just get someone. Just make sure you're safe, guys. Don't kill yourself trying to do race car building. But apart from that, let's get on with the removal.
Just a quick word before we move on to the removal. Please make sure to watch my videos on front bumper and inner shroud removal, as you will need to do this beforehand. Firstly, if you come down to the bottom left, you'll see the dryer. Use the AC line removal tools to remove the lines. These can be tough, but do come eventually. Also, remove both lines at the firewall. Once done, you can undo the small bracket and pull the lines and dryer from the engine. This requires a little bit of manoeuvring, but it does come out eventually. Before we touch the inner shroud, make sure to remove the intercooler. It's simply 2 bolts on either side, and it just lifts out of place. Now moving on to the inner front shroud, you'll find 3 small bolts on each side of the shroud. These bolts need to be removed. Once this is done, simply pull the bottom part of the bracket off the shroud. The fan and radiator should then be able to be lifted out of the top half of the inner shroud. Once the fan shroud is out, find the 4 tabs along the edges of the radiator that hold the AC condenser to the radiator. These can be a bit sticky, but a few good taps and some light force and it will begin to slide up. Then simply push from the bottom and it should come right off the radiator. This is now a good time to hoover out the radiator shroud, as it does get full of crud and rubbish over the years and it will make the radiator area cleaner. Put the inner shroud on its front, as it makes it easier to slide the fan shroud assembly into the mounting areas of the shroud. Once this is done, reattach the bottom bracket and line up the bolts. You'll know it's back in correctly when the brackets line up. Once this is done, replace the intercooler. This is the AC condenser and the inner shroud now separated. Right, now moving back to the engine bay, it's time to remove the AC compressor. Begin by using a 15mm spanner on the belt tensioner to slacken the belt, then remove the belt. Then remove the 4 bolts that hold the compressor to the engine. Then pull on the compressor to remove it. It can be a bit sticky due to years and years in oil and grime build-up, and there is a small location dowel on the top side, so be careful not to break this. Then simply use the 15mm spanner to detension the tensioner and put your new shorter belt onto the crank pulley and alternator. This is a bit easier with 2 people. And there we go, you have successfully removed the AC from the engine. All you need to do now is rebuild the car's front end.
So there we go, guys, the AC is now removed completely from the car. Not the hardest job in the world. I think some of the hardest part was actually getting the belt back on, believe it or not. It was a real fight, that was. I needed to get someone to help me with that. But apart from that, it's off. And believe it or not, I've totted up the weight of everything that came off the car and taken into consideration the amount of gas that's used in the system. We've actually saved 14.7 kilos. Plus, you've made up some inertia force because the belt is no longer driving something that's not working. So basically, you know, you probably won't see a huge horsepower increase. It's only an AC pump, but in terms of like drivability, you might notice a little bit of, you know, weightlessness at the front. You might notice a little bit of easier pickup, I don't know, but it's only an AC removal. But like I said, almost 15 kilos removed, and the fact you're saving inertia because you're not driving a belt that isn't working. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. It's quite easy. Updates on the Fiesta. The front is literally got to go back on. It now starts and runs, which I'm so happy about. I really didn't think it would. But yeah, so guys, I hope you found this video interesting. Obviously, it's now like the one again, like the 350 was one of the only videos on the internet showing you how to do this. So I hope you found it interesting. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We're almost at 200 subscribers now, and I'm really grateful for everyone's support. We're getting loads more comments, loads more likes on the video, and getting way more interaction. Absolutely loving it. Just shows me you guys, you're really enjoying the content on the channel. And when I reach 200 subscribers, I'm going to put a poll out on my Instagram to try some new stuff on the channel, just to expand it a little bit, because I love everything cars, and I just want to keep that content flowing on every single aspect. Obviously, with COVID restrictions everywhere, there's no car shows I can go to anywhere near, and it's just, you know, the way I work my hours, it's you know, it's hard for me to sort of get out and do car shows and shoots. So just doing this every week, it really helps build the channel and the user engagement. Guys, as well, don't forget to check out my Redbubble shop. Links in the description, just like everything else I've used in this video. The belt, the shortened belt, is also in the description. The AC fuel line disconnect tools are also in the description, so go check those links out if you want to buy some. But as always, guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.